My boss's son mocked my coding skills and fired me on the spot. The next day, the CEO called. Why did you let him go? Didn't you see the patent clause in the contract? I'm Marcus, 28, working as a junior developer at Technova Solutions. The CEO's son, Blake, is our lead developer, and I use that term very loosely. Blake got his position because daddy owns the company, but he codes like he learned from YouTube tutorials. For 6 months, I've been quietly fixing his broken code while he takes credit for everything. The guy can barely write a for loop without Stack Overflow. Last Friday started like any other day until our main client, Datacorp, called in a panic. Their entire payment processing system crashed during Black Friday weekend. We're talking millions in lost revenue every hour this thing stayed down. Blake immediately went into crisis mode, frantically Googling error messages while the client's CTO waited on a conference call. I watched him copy-paste random solutions from coding forums for 20 minutes. Have you tried turning it off and on again? Blake actually said this to a Fortune 500 company. I wanted to disappear. While Blake stumbled through his troubleshooting, I quietly analyzed their system architecture. The problem was obvious, a memory leak in their payment gateway caused by inefficient database queries. I wrote a custom algorithm that not only fixed the leak, but completely optimized their transaction processing. The whole solution took me about 20 minutes. I saved it to our shared drive with detailed documentation and went back to pretending I was working on Blake's meaningless busy work. 10 minutes later, Blake found my code. He glanced at it for maybe 30 seconds, his face getting redder by the second. Then he stormed over to my cubicle. Marcus, what is this garbage? This code is completely wrong. You're going to crash their entire payment system and bankrupt our biggest client. I tried explaining the algorithm's logic, showing him the optimization metrics, but he cut me off. I don't have time for your amateur hour solutions. You're clearly not ready for enterprise level development. This is embarrassing. Pack your stuff right now. You're done here. The whole office went quiet. Blake had never fired anyone before, and honestly, he looked pretty proud of himself. I just grabbed my coffee mug and laptop bag without saying a word. The next morning, I was still in my pajamas when my phone rang at 7 a.m. Marcus, this is Robert, Blake's father. I need you in my office in 1 hour. There's been a serious situation overnight. I threw on some clothes and drove over, wondering if Blake was trying to get me arrested or something equally dramatic. I walked into Robert's corner office to find Blake already there, looking confused and slightly defensive. Robert had a stack of legal documents spread across his mahogany desk, along with printouts of code and what looked like patent applications. Blake, can you explain to me one more time exactly why you fired Marcus yesterday? Blake straightened up, clearly thinking this was his chance to justify his decision. Dad, his code was amateur and dangerous. I couldn't risk him damaging our client relationships with subpar work. As lead developer, I had to make a tough call. Robert nodded slowly, then slid a thick document across the desk toward Blake. Son, this is the intellectual property agreement that every single employee signs on their first day. I need you to read section 7 out loud. Blake looked down and started reading, his confident tone gradually fading. Any proprietary algorithms, systems, or code innovations developed by employees during company time become immediate company assets and require patent filing within 72 hours of creation. I watched Blake's face go from confident to confused to pale white as the words sank in. Robert continued. Blake, Marcus didn't just fix Datacorp's system. His algorithm revolutionized their entire payment processing architecture. Their CTO called me at 5 a.m. saying it's the most elegant solution they've ever seen. Blake's mouth started opening and closing like a fish. Our legal team spent all night reviewing Marcus's code. They estimate it's worth $50 million in licensing deals, minimum. Tech companies will pay millions just to use this algorithm. Robert turned his computer monitor toward us, showing an email from Datacorp's CEO. This solution saved our company. We want exclusive licensing rights immediately. Blake, you just fired the developer who created our most valuable intellectual property. And according to his employment contract, we have exactly 48 hours from creation to file the patent, or we lose all rights to his innovation forever. Blake looked like he was going to throw up. Robert turned to me with an apologetic smile. Marcus, I'm deeply sorry about my son's mistake. How does Senior Vice President of Development sound? With a 40% raise in profit sharing on any patents you develop?